something was up with my mother. She was acting very irrationally. She stood up and wasn't able to get through the reading, which was very atypical for my mom.
Kimberly Williams Paisley is known for her warm smile and heartwarming roles in Hallmark movies and Father of the Bride. On screen, she seems to have the perfect life, but off-screen, it's a different story. Behind the glitz and glamour, Kimberly faced heartbreaking struggles that most fans never knew about. From personal losses to tough battles within her family, her life hasn't always been picture perfect. It's proof that even the brightest stars can face the darkest days. So what really has she been through? Join us as we take a look at Kimberly Williams Paisley's life behind the camera and uncover the struggles she has faced that would break anyone. But to understand the context, let's take a look at her early life. A young star with big dreams, Kimberly Williams Paisley was born on September 14, 1971 in Rye, New York, to Linda Barbara, a fundraiser, and Gurney Williams III, a health and science writer. From a young age, she showed interest in the arts, stepping into show business at just 13 years old. In high school, she directed the Rye High School Musical Review, already showing signs of her creative talent. But her life took a big turn when she got her first major acting role. Kimberly was studying drama at Northwestern University when she got the chance to star in Father of the Bride. It was a dream opportunity, but it came with a tough choice. She had to leave college during her sophomore year to take the role. Luckily, she later returned to finish her degree. While at Northwestern, she also joined the Alpha Phi sorority, balancing her love for acting with the typical college experience. While everything seemed to be falling into place, Kimberly faced an unexpected reality. Fame wasn't as glamorous as it appeared, and moving to Los Angeles for her first big film was, in her own words, terrifying. Fame came with struggles. When Father of the Bride hit theaters in 1991, Kimberly became a household name. Playing Annie Banks alongside Steve Martin and Diane Keaton was a huge deal, and she was only 19 years old. But behind the scenes, it wasn't as easy as it looked. Kimberly had to move to Los Angeles for filming, a city where she didn't know anyone. "They took good care of me," she told E! News, "but I didn't have any friends there. I didn't know anybody." It was a lonely and overwhelming experience for someone so young. And it wasn't just about learning lines and showing up for work. Hollywood had its own standards. "I remember they took me to a beauty salon, and I had to spend hours getting my eyebrows plucked and my legs waxed. All those things I'd never done before," she recalled. For a teenager new to the industry, this was nerve-wracking. "It was really nerve-wracking. It was also really exciting," she added. But the pressure didn't stop there. Being in the spotlight meant constantly proving herself, and Kimberly often doubted her abilities. The same movie that gave her a dream career also made her question if she truly belonged in Hollywood. A heart-stopping moment on stage. Kimberly's career kept moving after her early success, but not everything went smoothly. In 1998, she performed in All in the Timing at the Geffen Playhouse in Los Angeles. It was a play made up of 6 short scenes, and she was right in the middle of one when something shocking happened. In the middle of this scene, all of a sudden we hear, "Is there a doctor in the house?" Kimberly told the Chicago Tribune in 2019. "At first, she thought it was part of the play. I was like, is this a joke?" But it wasn't. Someone in the audience had collapsed, and there was no way to ignore it. For the first time in her career, Kimberly had to break the fourth wall. She turned to the audience, something actors are trained not to do. "It's so jarring when you've never done that before," she explained. The situation quickly became serious. Paramedics were called, and the man, who had suffered a heart attack, was rushed out of the theater. Thankfully, he survived. But the moment stayed with Kimberly. "Sometimes the worst experiences turn out to be the best stories later, that's for sure," she reflected. What surprised her most was how the audience reacted. She assumed the mood would be ruined, but it was the opposite. After we all went through something like that, the audience welcomed us back even more. Speaking of which, did you know that even after becoming a familiar face in Hollywood, Kimberly still struggled with self-doubt? fighting self-doubt on set. While filming Father of the Bride, she faced one of her toughest moments as an actress. There's a famous scene where her character, Annie Banks, breaks down after receiving a blender from her fiancé. It was supposed to be an emotional moment, but Kimberly couldn't cry. "I hadn't had much training on how to access emotion yet," she told ABC News. "And the more I worried over being expected to weep, the less likely it became." Take after take, she tried, but nothing happened. And with each failed attempt, her confidence slipped further. "I'm not cut out for this. I don't belong here. I am failing," she thought to herself. But strangely, that feeling of failure triggered the tears she needed. Kimberly started crying for real, not because of the scene, but because of her own frustration. The director didn't miss the moment. The cameras kept rolling, and that raw emotion made it into the final cut. Despite the struggle, the film was a success. Kimberly returned for Father of the Bride Part 2 and later appeared in Father of the Bride Part 3-ish, a mini reunion she shared with her two sons. "They loved the movies," she told ET, "and they were so excited to come and watch me work." Kimberly's career continued to grow after Father of the Bride, The Price of Success. She starred in Indian Summer, Cold-Blooded, and The War at Home. In 1996, she landed the lead role in the ABC drama Relativity. While critics praised her performance, the show was canceled after just 17 episodes. But she didn't slow down. Kimberly starred in the fantasy miniseries The 10th Kingdom, played Dana in the sitcom According to Jim, and even performed on stage in The Last Night of Ballyhoo. Her film career also continued, with roles in We Are Marshall alongside Matthew McConaughey and Alvin and the Chipmunks, The Road Chip. In 2012, she took on the recurring role of Peggy Kenter in the ABC drama Nashville. On the surface, it seemed like everything was going well. But behind the scenes, Kimberly often dealt with imposter syndrome. Even after years of success, she sometimes felt like she didn't deserve her place in Hollywood. Looking back, she admitted that her doubts never fully went away, but she learned to push through them. "Sometimes the hardest moments teach you the most," she once said. Today, Kimberly is known not just for her acting, but for her strength. From her early struggles in Hollywood to the pressure of fame, she's faced it all with grace. And while her life might look perfect from the outside, her story proves that even the brightest stars have their dark moments. Career struggles aside, Kimberly's personal life hasn't been without challenges either. But through it all, one thing has remained constant: her relationship with Brad Paisley. A love story built on respect and humor. Kimberly Williams Paisley and Brad Paisley seem like the perfect couple. They've been married since 2003, raised two kids, and supported each other through thick and thin. But like any relationship, theirs wasn't built without effort. According to Brad, there's no big secret behind their lasting love. It all comes down to two things: respect and humor. "I think there's no secret other than mutual respect and a sense of humor," Brad told Parade magazine in 2014. "A sense of humor can get you through so much." And if there's one thing both Brad and Kimberly know how to do, it's laugh together, even when life gets tough. Brad first saw Kimberly while watching Father of the Bride. He was so taken by her performance that he mentioned her in one of his songs and later asked her to star in his music video. That's how they met in 2001, and the rest is history. But marriage isn't just about romantic moments. Brad once compared it to sharing a car. "You've got to want to be going to the same place," he told Wonderwall. He made a promise early on. "Failure's not an option. You're going to change. You're going to evolve together. I'm so different than the total hillbilly she met." Humor has always been their glue. In a 2020 interview with The Boot, Brad joked, "If I get too big for my britches, Kimberly's always ready to cut me down to size." But it's not just jokes that keep them strong. Brad believes authenticity is key. Pretension should be completely gone in a marriage. Actually, it should be gone before you get married. And their family grew stronger when they had kids. Their first son, William Huckleberry, nicknamed Huck, was born in 2007. 2 years later, they welcomed their second son, Jasper Warren, in 2009. Brad once told Parade, "When you have kids that you're raising together, That helps bring you together as well. Their marriage might look perfect from the outside, but they've faced their share of storms. And when rumors about Brad cheating surfaced, Kimberly's response showed just how strong their bond really is. Hurtful rumors and how they handled them. Even the happiest marriages aren't safe from gossip. In December 2017, tabloids went wild with a shocking claim. Brad Paisley was allegedly cheating on Kimberly with his Country Music Awards co-host, Carrie Underwood. For many couples, such rumors could cause serious trouble, but not for Brad and Kimberly. When Us Weekly asked Kimberly what she thought about the claims, she didn't lash out or seem worried. Instead, she laughed. "Are you serious?" she said. "Wow, I hope it helps our careers, that's all I can say." It was clear she didn't believe the rumors for a second. After all, she knew her husband better than anyone, and Brad had always been open about how much he valued their relationship. Their love story started in 2001, and they tied the knot on March 15, 2003. Over the years, they built a life filled with laughter, music, and family. Their Nashville home became their safe space, where they raised Huck and Jasper away from the spotlight. Brad's commitment to their marriage never wavered. He once said, "You have to decide early on that failure's not an option. You're going to evolve together." While rumors like that could shake some couples, Kimberly and Brad faced them the way they faced everything else, with humor, trust, and a strong foundation built on years of love and shared experiences. While Kimberly's love life remained strong, she wasn't immune to betrayal from strangers, trapped by an online scam. In 2013, she fell victim to an internet scam that played on her kindness. It all started with an email from someone named Carrie. The message was heartbreaking. Carrie claimed her daughter was dying from a rare form of pediatric cancer. She said her daughter had begged her to get in touch with me, Kimberly told ABC News. It sounded very real, but she wasn't dying to get a hold of me. That was the beginning of the manipulation. The two women kept in touch for over a week. Kimberly, moved by the heartbreaking story, shared it with Brad. Wanting to do something special, he sang Amazing Grace over the phone, thinking he was comforting a dying child. But things quickly got strange. When Carrie claimed her daughter had passed away, Kimberly offered to send flowers. That's when the scammer snapped. "I don't need you to pray for me," Carrie wrote. "Doesn't seem like God hears much of anything these days." Something didn't add up. Kimberly and Brad started digging and soon discovered the truth. The photos Carrie had sent were stolen from the internet. There was no sick child. The scammer was actually a woman named Hope Lynn Jackson. She had been running the same hoax for years, tricking multiple families. Surprisingly, it wasn't even about money. "I think that's sicker," Brad admitted. "I would have welcomed the thought that this was something as simple as a woman scheming." The scam left them shaken but wiser. It was a harsh reminder that not everyone's intentions are pure, even when the story seems heartbreaking. But the hardest challenge Kimberly faced wasn't from the internet or tabloids. It was watching her mother, Linda Williams, slowly lose herself to dementia. Losing her mother to dementia. Kimberly first noticed something was wrong in 2003. Her mom, once sharp and full of life, started acting differently. At first it was little things, forgetfulness, confusion. But by 2005, doctors confirmed what the family feared. Linda had primary progressive aphasia, a rare form of dementia. For years, Kimberly kept the diagnosis private. It was too painful to talk about. But as the disease progressed, keeping silent became harder. She became destructive, Kimberly shared with Redbook. "Almost every time we had dinner together, a glass broke or a plate of food ended up on the floor. She ate spaghetti with her fingers. She had accidents and falls that landed her in the ER." In 2016, Kimberly finally decided to open up. She wrote a book titled Where the Light Gets In, sharing her family's painful journey. Writing about it felt like reclaiming control. "After so many years of feeling like I had to be private and secret, it was just so empowering to be able to take the reins of the story," she told Today. Sadly, Linda's condition worsened. On November 16, 2016, Kimberly's mother passed away after a long, heartbreaking battle. Kimberly posted a smiling photo of her mom on Instagram with the caption, "I will remember you this way, Mom. Rest in love and peace." Brad also shared his grief on social media. "We are so touched by the outpouring of sympathy for Kim's mom. Thank you all. After her long battle with this terrible disease, she is free." Though losing her mom was devastating, Kimberly found comfort in knowing she had done everything she could. Through her book and advocacy, she continues to raise awareness about dementia, hoping to help other families facing the same painful journey. Losing her voice and fighting to get it back. In the fall of 2022, Kimberly Williams Paisley faced a terrifying challenge. She lost her voice. It happened suddenly while she was on stage at her Alzheimer's fundraiser, Dance Party to End ALZ, an event honoring her late mother. "I put the mic to my mouth and nothing came out," she told people. What she thought was simple vocal strain turned into a 2-year nightmare. At first, Kimberly tried everything: vocal rest, hot tea, and even working with a voice coach. Nothing helped. "I went to self-blame. I'm not breathing properly. I'm not relying on my vocal training," she shared. The silence didn't just affect her career, it changed her entire life. She had to turn down acting jobs, skip interviews, and even avoid social gatherings. "I loved dinner parties and being around people, but I didn't want to go out. I couldn't be a part of the conversation." Her anxiety grew. "I had days when I didn't want to do anything, days when I was extra tired, cycling anxiety thoughts in the middle of the night." It wasn't full depression, but she admitted feeling deeply sad. Desperate for answers, Kimberly visited the Vanderbilt Voice Center, known for treating stars like Johnny Cash and Winona Judd. Doctors found her neck muscles were so tight, her vocal cords were barely visible. The diagnosis was muscle tension dysphonia. "The muscles in my neck were tensing up to help my vocal cords hit each other," she explained. Treatment began with physical therapy, a nighttime mouthpiece to relax her muscles, and body realignment. But nothing worked. Over the next year, she tried everything: antidepressants, a vegan diet, acupuncture, even hypnosis. "I even saw a psychic and an astrologer," she admitted, but her voice still didn't return. Kimberly felt hopeless. "There were days when I grieved and sobbed. I wondered, who am I without my voice?" She even started exploring other careers, finishing 2 screenplays during her silence. Her family was her rock. Brad tried to help with vocal warm-ups, though she laughed. He stepped in it so much. Their sons, Huck and Jasper, also supported her. "They saw me at my most vulnerable. They'd get someone's attention for me when I couldn't speak. They were great cheerleaders." The surgery that brought her voice back. After nearly 2 years of struggling, doctors finally found the real cause: partial paralysis of her left vocal cord. The only solution was surgery, a laryngoplasty, to implant a small device and help her vocal cords work properly again. Kimberly had to stay awake during the 3-hour surgery. It was a bizarre experience. "They made an implant in the room," she explained. "It looked like a little tooth. They'd place it in, take it out, shave it down, and try again. Each time they'd have me talk. After 3 attempts, they got it right. When they finally got it right, everyone in the room said, 'Yes, there it is, there's her voice.'" Kimberly watched the entire process on a video screen above her head, calling it nothing short of miraculous. Post-surgery, she had a long scar across her neck, but instead of hiding it, she embraced it. "I have a badass scar that's smiling at me across my neck," she wrote on Instagram. Her voice was back, and so was her confidence. And for the first time in 2 years, Kimberly could speak without strain. She shared how the experience changed her. "I took for granted my ability to use my voice before, for my career, for a good cause, for a timely joke, for self-expression, for a loud dinner party. Instead, I've been the quietest in the room. I've felt meek." But that silence taught her something powerful. "In the last 2 years, I've found power in using my voice in new ways. I've healed old emotional wounds. I've learned the strength and beauty of silence." More health setbacks and heartbreaking moments. Just as Kimberly was celebrating her recovery, another setback hit. In January 2025, she broke her foot after a fall. Instead of feeling defeated, she kept a positive outlook. Posting a sunset photo on Instagram, she wrote, I fell and broke my foot last Saturday. No sympathy, please. How's everyone else doing today? Sending love to you. Though her foot injury was tough, Kimberly had learned resilience from her vocal ordeal. On the Mind What Matters podcast, she shared advice for others facing health struggles. It's not over, she said. For so long I felt like, okay, I'm just going to be like this. But it doesn't have to be over. She also spoke about how the experience made her stronger. Thank goodness they found something that helped me speak again. But the things I've learned in this year and a half of struggling, I'm stronger physically. I'm deadlifting 115 pounds. Through all her struggles, Kimberly has remained positive and grateful. As she said herself, I don't want to leave things unsaid. I know myself better now. My voice underneath is stronger. How do you think her strength through these tough times has shaped her both as an actress and as a person? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more such stories.